Hello. So today I thought I will cover a little bit on what's been called the apana vayu. Yeah. Traditionally, it has been thought that Google also says apana vayu governs elimination, downward and outward movement. Okay. The way I understand it in movementless yoga, healthy and natural breathing, from a ShriYantra perspective, that is from a Kundalini perspective, yeah, a person-centric, a Kundalini perspective, and from a ShriYantra perspective. So, there are 3 holes in between our legs, males or females. We have a hole for elimination of poop, fecal waste. We have a hole for elimination of liquid waste, urine. And we have a hole for the reproduction. Now, males, females, there is a difference in anatomy, genital anatomy. But nevertheless, there are 3 holes for 3 purposes, yeah? 3 functions of the body. And the other holes are available in the region of our head, yeah? 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 holes for the nostril, 1 for the mouth. So total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 3 holes in between our legs. So 10. Apana vayu, if you're not going to relate it as only that which is for elimination, okay, traditionally elimination, downward and outward movement may have been associated with the 3 holes in between the legs. Now, if we consider that if we have a cold, there is liquid coming out of there is congestion in our nose and liquid coming out. If we are, say, tearful, we have liquid coming out of our eyes. And regular cleansing is also required so that eyes are clean, nose are clean. Otherwise, when we are in the traffic, for example, there is particulate matter, exhaust fumes, which may go into our nose, into our mouth, and needs regular cleaning. That is also elimination. And that may be outward movement too, but not necessarily downward, the way we traditionally understand it. If we consider food goes downward in our digestive tract. Our digestive tract also has holes. It's just tubes. Yeah, there are tubes, not just as traditionally what we think as holes. Yeah, in between our legs, for example, nostrils. Yeah, we also may not be seeing our eyes as holes, but there are eye sockets. Yeah, from where we have the eyeballs, and it's through, if we close our eyes, so we can close the holes of our eyes. And consequently, these holes may also be seen as windows, yeah, doorways, from where light enters our head, our body, yeah, through the eyes. Sound enters through the holes of the ears, yeah, that sense. But we may not be seeing the tubes of the digestive tract or the arteries, veins, and capillaries as holes, because our idea of holes may be a transection or something that you can see through, but not necessarily a tube. But then in that sense, the fecal, the excretory holes are actually the endings, outward endings of tubes. Yeah. And we're calling them as holes. But at any point, say where the capillaries enter the cells, for example, there would is that a hole? So our idea, or say our sweat glands, yeah, our skin has pores through where sweat comes out. But because we don't see them, we may not be associating them as holes, yeah. But they're also external openings. Your body has external openings, several of them. If we don't associate the word apana with just the holes that are moving downwards and in between our legs, but as breaths which have a downward movement and is not only associated with the holes in between our legs, then our body's metabolic processes may be seen in more profounder, okay, let's just say more complex physiology than what we may have traditionally hitherto regarded our human body as functioning by. Now, in this video, I'm particularly paying attention to the 3 holes in between our legs. Why? Because this area in between our legs has also been associated with what's been called the muladhaara chakra. But muladhaara chakra may be more particularly associated with the perineum, which is a small band of tissue, an area of tissue in between the urinary hole and the excretory hole, the fecal hole, yeah, fecal matter. Yeah. And if we consider that the muladhara is not just that little band of tissue called the perineum, but is referring to a set of values which is represented by the idea, by the image representation of the muladhara chakra. Now, why is this important? Understanding apana vayu from another perspective offers a few more benefits in paying attention to these 3 holes, to the region between our legs, and what we base our life from. Yeah. Muladhara chakra has been, I don't know if you can see, I don't think you can see. Oh, yeah. No. Okay. So, has been, in reference to the Shri chakra, you can have another tab open up for the Shri chakra, and then you can see a triangle that is downward facing, which is in between a 4-sided square. Yes, has a square. And at the end, and the square gives rise to 4 D-shaped structures. Yeah, 4 shaped structures, and correlating with the D-shaped structures are petals. Yeah, on both sides. Yeah. Now, they are like 4 values, 4 sets of values. Yeah, 4 petals, 4. If you draw 4 circles, these circles intersect at a point where also it looks like a petal. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is there are 4 basic desires and problems. Yeah, 4 basic concerns, which is represented by one or the other of the 16 chakras, 16 petals and the 8 petals, which form the doorways of the Shri chakra around there, But if you don't look at it just that, and if you look at our life is based by at least 4 sets of values, yeah, which would be, we could say one way as mama, papa, baby, idio. Another would be 4 kinds of souls, so to speak, or ki. Yeah. So we have the idea of chi, the idea of ki, which is more denser and more ancient, more older. In Chinese medicine has been called Tianqi, Diki, Renki, and Monkey. I tend to call it as, I associate these 4 values. Why? Because our human body functions over years of research, what I found is a human body functions as a humane being and has those bases for growing and becoming a humane being when these four key are on. It's like, keys to a door. Yeah. That's one way to look at it. Tien key has been associated with the heavenly key. Yeah. So to speak. The key with the earthly soul. Yeah. Earthly key, not necessarily soul, but our association with the word soul is, oh, ancient, sustains a test of time. Through lifetimes, the soul is continuous and those kinds of ideas. So key in that sense kind of relates with that. Yeah. The key, earthly key. Yeah. Ren key is the human key, the human sense of key. So human beings evolved over several cycles of evolution. The human key. And monkey is, it's again MONQI, key, is probably what traditionally we associate with the soul. When we say the soul is continuous through lifetimes. So the soul of a person as continuous through lifetimes has been called as the monkey. Okay. And then, so there is the human, what may be called as a human intelligence, but it's not just intelligence. It's a human soul. Yeah. Key. I still need to further discern between soul and key. Key is the 7 cardinal sins, for example. Yeah, has been associated with different kinds of demonic, apparently, energies, which means when you're besotted by them, you simply have to have the, like, for example, if it's food, you simply need to eat something to then quench that that hunger. So it's like a demonic, yeah, when it's kind of insatiable. So, yeah, that's when there is something which has not been addressed, worked fine with. And we function by different instincts, so to speak. And they're not just with one person, but it's also there with one person. It's also there in different spheres of influence. And over many lifetimes, humans have arrived with what is sustainable, what has sustainable sperm and ovum, healthier sperm and ovum emerge, is also when, say, for example, close family members are not getting married. Then there is more genetically, there is sustenance. Yeah. And there is less diseases. Also because the key is more together. The strength of it is a little too much. Yeah. To the point that there have been families, an entire family trees, yeah, destroying each other because of the force of it. Yeah. Not sustainable. So life on earth has been attempting many ways by which to have sustainable, healthier sperm and ovum. So we used to have warring clans, warring tribes, and now we have more across the globe. We are talking in terms of stabler government. We are paying attention to health and economic challenges and wisdom challenges, and we also have the United Nations. So these structures have evolved over several years of inquiring into what sustains the test of time, what has more people be alive, become healthy, wealthy, wiser. Which means these demonic, if it's like a little too much, then it gets destructive. In our own human composition, there is still this idea of the 7 cardinal sins, which means these forces already have a certain play out in the microcosm of the person. And then there is communities, and then there is many groups of circles of influence, yeah, spheres of influence. And we also have these urges. Yeah. For example, we get hungry. And then when we eat just sufficient food, oh, fine. Not like, oh, food. Yeah. The 7 other cardinal sins have also been referred to as pride, lust, greed. I will just read them out. 1 minute. Lust, a strong desire for something, even when there is already a significant amount of it. Lust can be for money, power, or sexual acts. Gluttony, overindulging in food, drink, or intoxicants to the point of waste. Pride, often considered the worst of the 7 deadly sins. Debatable. Each cause damage in their own ways. Yeah. So, envy, a pattern of dysfunction that leads to unhappiness. Anger, one of the 7 deadly sins in Catholicism. Sloth, a pattern of dysfunction that leads to unhappiness. This is just perfunct, but we can look into them further as we go. Avarice, a pattern of dysfunction that leads to unhappiness. Wait, we have lust, gluttony, pride, envy, wrath, or anger, sloth. 6, avarice. Which is another one. Yeah. Greed, avarice, or greed, extreme greed for something. Yeah. So if we then look at there are virtues which then balances these two. Temperance, a quality of being moderate and exercising self-restraint. Charity is considered, charity is where you are giving for the benefit of another. Yeah. Humility, prudence, diligence. Yeah. So we have one: temperance, charity, humility, prudence, diligence, and there's one more. Right. Chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, kindness, patience, and humility. Yeah. We will, when we talk in terms of the 7, in terms of Ayurveda, they call it as 7 dhatus. When there is a balance between the extremes, then you don't have the demonic, yeah, towards something, or the selfishness or selflessness. It's not an extreme. It's not to the point that it causes disorder. So too much of virtue is also is bad. Yeah, too much of anything is bad. If you're too prudent, you're not spending for anything. You're not being. It becomes difficult for you to function. Similarly, say too much of anger, too much of pride, too much of the good or the bad. If it's too much of anything, it becomes bad. Yeah. You need to be hunger is good. Lets you know that you need to eat, but too much of it becomes a problem. Yeah. So similarly, when we consider ki as one of the 7, okay, we are talking only in terms of 4 now. Yeah. We have the 7 cardinal sins. But if we kind of coordinate them into 4, yeah, then we have the Tien ki, heavenly ki, yeah, Di ki, earthly ki, Reng ki, which is a human ki, yeah, and Monkey, which is again a person ki, yeah, not just human ki or earthly ki or heavenly ki. We need all of these. And we consider muladhaara not just as between our legs, but in a sense, if we consider the 3 holes to be like creation, preservation, and destruction, that in that sense, yes, muladhara would also be, you have the 3 holes, which is also representing creation, preservation, destruction, reproduction, Yeah, different kinds of elimination. So, and creation also, creation, preservation, destruction. Now, but it's also the fourth one, monkey. It's a person. There's a person here, and then we have the three holes. Yeah. So in that sense, okay, four kinds of key. That's also one way to look at it. But maybe that's also one of the reasons why they have associated the region between our legs as, and then the perineum as a muladhara. But if we consider that the perineum is basically tissue, and then different body parts also have tissue and cells and tissue, organs and organ systems. They're all related. And if we can relate with each of the holes in their own way, then we will find that the 10 vaayus have their own affect, play, then they need to be taken care of in terms of at least the 10 holes. And then we have so many holes that make our skin. There are so many holes, which is the entry to different organs and organ systems, and also the exit. Yeah. So there are muscles which originate from one place and insert in another place. So they're also like tubes. Yeah. In that sense. So we got lots. Bones, for example. Bones also have holes. It's just that, they're related. They're forming joints. Yeah. So we got lots of work. 10 vaayus, and we got 10 holes, and then we got lots of work to do, yeah, to take care of all of them. The region between the legs, which has been called the muladhara, yeah, I'm hoping that this video will introduce you to your body as the muladhara for the life you live, wherein creation, preservation, destruction needs to be maintained in a balance, which can also be called as catabolism, metabolism, anabolism. Yeah, which then gives a parabolism. It's like you have the integrations and then you have the parabolas. Yeah, to give the trajectory of, and then you'll be able to predict on which way your life is going, and to give the parabolism too. So you say parabrahma, yeah, paragraph, yeah. So how do you graph your life? So how do you then author your life in such a way that you're going beyond existential challenges, you're going beyond life as has been lived to how life could be. But that requires for you to have your basics fine, your muladhara, functioning healthy, wealthy, wise. Yeah. That's also in one way, probably the relationship with, the association with the idea of the linga, like the whole body as a linga. Yeah. And then there's this idea of Ganga. Yeah. So from Shiva's head, like, yeah. So that's one way to look at it. Yeah. Now, on this side of the muladhara, yeah, like I said, in my worldview, from the idea of the homunculus, yeah, every part of the body is related with every other part of the body. Yeah. And a human body is a fine balance between nature and nurture, which has been called as the Ardhanarishwar, but it's actually Artha Nara Ishvara. Yeah. Just like the Muladhara, the chakra has a triangle, downward facing triangle. Yeah. That's like Artha, okay. Artha Nara Ishvara. That's like XYZ. Okay. That's actually, there's another reference to it. It's like when you just stand from the point of the triangle, it's like you should actually look at it from there. But when you look at this is like a geotropic or the gravitropic, and then this triangle is the phototropic. So there's the gravitropic and the phototropic. When you stand here and you'll reflect upon the Nara and Artha, okay, or let's just say the why for being in existence, okay. When you stand from the point, like one level ground, when you're standing there and you reflect upon why are you doing what you're doing and where are you headed, both are kind of related. Like standing on point X, when you reflect upon the why and the goals for which you're doing things, why are you doing things and what is that you're aiming towards? What are the goals? That's like standing on X and reflecting upon Y and Z. They're both related. Y and Z are both related. So standing on the point of X, you'll have a better, clearer understanding of what in the world are you doing in your life. Yeah. And then be able to better author your life. So we are doing this way. Yeah. You're standing on the point, and then we kind of, from there, when we're basing our life, once this is all figured out, and then you're basing your life from there, from this point, then you can kind of, it forms a parabola, yeah, from getting your P's and Q's, yeah, and R's. Why are you? Or what are your P's and what are your questions? You have a base from here, yeah, standing from here. So you have like, this is like -0, -100, or -1000, and then all the way to coming to this stable ground zero. They call it as Sthira Sukhasana. Once you can then stand here on this point X, then you can then look at, again, reflect on why you're doing things, what's your goals, and then keep growing further. Yeah. So the muladhara is important. But you got to know if you're how much minus you're here before you can come to the stable Sthira Sukhasana. Yeah. That's one way to look at it. So let's begin to consider the matter from the muladhara to see we have lots of numbers. So once we have a better idea of where we are, it becomes easier for us to come to Sthira Sukhasana, ground zero. It's called the zero. And then from zero, we have lots of numbers. Yeah, infinite numbers. Lots. That's what the Sri Chakra is talking about. Yeah, we got lots of numbers. Oh my God, lots of circles. Now, I invite you to bring your attention to the region between your legs. Pay attention to the inner surface of your thighs in terms of softness, in terms of warmth, in terms of moisture. Okay? When you pay attention to the region, inner surface of your thighs, and then slowly the region between your thighs, the bridge between your thighs, in terms of softness, in terms of warmth, in terms of moisture. Now, this could discomfort you because our relationship with this fine bridge between our legs may not be as healthy as we would like to be, or we may not have been led to feel comfortable or be proud of. Yeah, in one way or the other, many ways sometimes. And so we may be all in wraps or cover up. You don't talk about all of that. Yeah. So it's not civil to talk about it like that. So there may be shame associated with it. There could be guilt associated with it. There could be guilty pleasure. There could be embarrassment. There could be shyness. There could be, no, we don't talk about this. You will not think about that. Yeah. You don't have to think about that. You can close your eyes and feel your legs, like all the way from the floor, like your feet, to your thighs, like knees, thighs, with your eyes closed. And if you can feel your legs in terms of softness, in terms of warmth, in terms of liquid sense, like moisture, because there's blood flowing through your body. So there would be liquid in the cells, in the tissues, in the organs, organ systems. There is blood. We are human beings. We are alive beings. So there would be a sense of liquid for the legs. That would also be a good, nice beginning into paying attention to some aspects of apana vayu. Yeah, apana. It is also said to be downward, yeah, and outward, but one of the vayus. This has been, apana vayu has been traditionally related with the from the pelvis downwards, yeah, like lower portion of the abdomen downwards. That's what Google would say. So you have that point of reference. But we will learn the vayus from what we already know and then appreciate a body in finer ways, in healthier ways, in a way that has our association with the body, with our relationship with the body, more humaner. Yeah. Now I invite you to bring your attention to your chest, to the gentle rhythmic movement of your chest as you're breathing. And notice the expansion, contraction, the rise and fall of the region of your chest as you're breathing. Now your chest is finely related with the gentle rhythmic movement of breath through your nostrils. Nostrils are front and back. You know, the air moves front to inside, which is front and back. So the direction of the movement is front and back. Your chest is expanding, contracting, which means it is also sideways and also front and back. Yeah. The chest is expanding front and back, is also sideways, could also say diagonally. Yeah, there are many directions there. Yeah. And the diaphragm, which is the below portion of the lungs, yeah, is moving up and down. So we have at our nostrils, we have front and back movement, chest having also lateral movement, also front and back, diaphragm moving up and down. So we have front, back, left, right, up, down. So that's at least 6. And there's also air is moving from inside the body to outside the body and outside the body to inside the body. So we have in and out also. So here we have an aspect of Ashtanga Yoga. Yeah, we have 8 directions, at least eight arms. Yeah, eight directions, you can say. 8 ways of looking at how movement is happening. Yeah. Similarly, when you pay attention to the region between your legs, you're likely to notice some kind of a movement. When you consider that the region between your legs is also breathing in an alive person. Yeah. So when you pay attention to your legs and to the region between your legs in terms of softness, warmth, and moisture, chances are you will also notice some form of movement between your legs, about the region of your pelvis, about the region of your legs, because our body is breathing in an alive body, a live person. There are movement happening. There are breathing movements happening because cells breathe, tissues breathe, organs breathe, organ systems breathe. Yeah. On that note, if you can pay attention to the softness, warmth, and moisture of your body, the lower portion of your body, and if you can notice any sense of movement about your lower portion of your body, you would have begun in some ways to movementless yoga and in some way to the muladhaara aspect. Yeah, some aspect. And we are not just limited to the perineum. Yeah. So thank you so much for your kind interest. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.